Morning and welcome to creating a virtual shop run on Facebook, along with selling your products through shops on Instagram as well. So a bit of a double module from the Facebook Blueprint lot of training. And this morning, I'm Dante St. James. I'll be taking you through this one on behalf of Business Station, the Australian Small Business Advisory Services Digital Solutions Program, Regional Development Australia, Brisbane, and Treaty Business Consulting as well. Let's get underway and get that started. I'll just share my screen. And if you've got any questions along the way, please do drop them into the chat window, or you can make that across to the Q&A section as well. I'm more than happy to answer questions as you're going along. While I may not be able to fix your particular circumstance in this session, you are welcome to book an ASBAS Digital Solutions session, and you'll be able to get access to me to help you to sort of unravel all that, and also have some places for you to go at the end of these sessions so you can learn more about both shops on Facebook and shops on Instagram, as well as getting some support from others in the same business as you, the same kind of and the same kind of circumstances yourself, being Australian small businesses, myself and other trainers, and the team from Facebook Australia and New Zealand as well. So my name is Dante St. James. As I said, I am a Facebook Australia and New Zealand community trainer and Facebook Blueprint lead trainer. I've also been certified by Facebook across various others as well. Some of what I do is traveling around Australia to train community groups, small business groups, and provide some small business support for those people who are needing some help in their regions with using the Facebook family of apps. So I'm really excited that you took the time to be here today and learn all about how to create a shop for your business, both on Facebook and on Instagram. So we'll look at the Facebook bit first, and then we'll take a look at Instagram after that as well. So today we're going to go through what a shop is, in Facebook's term at least, how to set up a shop in your Commerce Manager, and how to customize that shop to make it a little bit more of your own. So to start off with, we want to see, okay, what is a shop? What does a shop do? And how can we work with shops? So if I had, oops, I just unshared my screen. Sorry about that. I'll pop that back up again. So when it comes to shops, we want to know, I guess, what they enable you to do. So they allow you to set up your online storefront. So it creates a unique shopping experience just for you on Facebook and Instagram, and it's free to use. So when you create a shop, your customers can browse and explore and purchase your products directly from this little virtual storefront you've got on your particular Facebook business page. So it allows you then to, I guess, make shopping and very convenient for customers who don't always have to be going off-site just to get started with that. Now, your Facebook business page can have a shop, and so can your Instagram business account as well. So as a seller, you can use shops to manage your inventory and then grow your business online as well. So all the things you'll say producing over on, I don't know, maybe over on Shopify or BigCommerce or WooCommerce or any of those platforms, you can then bring those across, often through an automated ingestion. Especially our Shopify's got a brilliant ingestion that goes from Shopify into Facebook and Instagram shops as well. And it lets you, I guess, to grow your business online, because it makes life just that little bit easier for customers to shop with you. They don't have to go finding you on the internet. They can find you just through the place where they and you tend to spend most of your time, which is on social media. So in addition to visiting your shop from your Instagram profile or your Facebook page through the new dedicated call to action button, so there is a view shop action button you can put onto your Facebook page or your Instagram profile. People will also access your shop through stories, and they can do it through tags of your products on the Facebook feed. So you can also increase your visits to your collections by a swipe up links in the Instagram stories. So once you've got a shop in there, you can have swipe up links in Instagram stories for tagged products. That's a pretty good idea. I know that you usually have to have that 10,000 or more followers enabled to get your regular swipe up on stories. This kind of shortcuts you there because you've now got products to go through. So it's a quality destination. Sorry, a quality destination. Sorry, my microphone dropped out there. A quality destination that it's to do with to get people to go to something within the Facebook family apps rather than having to go off to own unknown websites to at least browse through those products. If they want to, close that out and they actually want to then buy from you, well, then there's lots of plugins that connect those different platforms to Facebook and Instagram that allow them to check out without leaving the platform, but it still works in with your particular platform. Now, that's just certain platforms like WooCommerce, BigCommerce, Shopify. They're probably the big three. In fact, yeah, I was trying to think. There's another one which is mostly made for South American businesses, so it's probably doesn't affect us so much in Australia and New Zealand. So product tagging on Instagram and Facebook lets people explore and buy the products directly from content that you post into your Facebook and Instagram feeds and stories. So from all these entry points, people are able to browse collections, they can add your products to their carts, and they can place an order either on your business's website or without leaving Facebook or Instagram if you have an enabled checkout on there. So how do we look at then setting up a shop in Commerce Manager? Now, Commerce Manager is the part of your business manager, which allows you access to be able to get onto adding a shop for Facebook and Instagram. So a few things you need to be able to make sure before we talk about the setup is that you are a business manager admin. So that's the first thing you need to be able to do. So not an editor, not an employee or an advertiser. You have to be a business manager add-in. So that's not an admin of a page, but an admin of the business manager that owns that particular page. Then you also need to make sure that your Facebook page and your Instagram business account are connected to the same business manager account. So I'll read that again. Your Facebook page and your Instagram business profile have to be connected through this same business manager account. Okay, this is where a lot of them seem to fall down. People say, oh, I can't connect it. Is because someone else, some other business manager actually owns that Instagram business account. So you just got to make sure they're in the same one. So you might have to unravel a few things that have been set up over the last few years that don't quite fit the system and the way it needs to work. You also have to be able to manage permissions on your Facebook page. So that just means you've just got to have the ultimate ownership and be able to add and subtract people from that page. You have to be the ultimate authority on that particular page in order to do it. So if you're doing this on behalf of another client, for instance, not doing it for yourself, then you may need to get that permission from them to enable that on your account. Now, you also need to have managing permissions for your catalog. So if you've set up a catalog of different items within the Facebook shops already, you do need to have managing permissions access for that catalog. And you also have to have a website for your business. So you need to have a place where ultimately this stuff is going to happen. So you need to be able to have a Shopify, BigCommerce or WooCommerce site, and there's a few others that are available as well. But they're the big three, and they're the ones that are going to take about 98% of all shops in Australia. Now, once you've confirmed that everything is good to go, then you just start setting up your shop through the Commerce Manager via the desktop. So it's important you do this through desktop, not through the mobile. The mobile doesn't have the same feature set for setting this up. So here's how to get started with that. You, first of all, log into the Commerce Manager and then click Get Started under Get Started with Shops. It's like it's repeating that Get Started, isn't it? But yeah, you click Get Started under Get Started with Shops. Then we decide how you want to manage your shop. So you select how you manage it between managing it with Commerce Manager or managing it through your partner. So that could be Shopify, BigCommerce, WooCommerce on WordPress, those kind of setups. Now, unfortunately, Wix shops don't work on this. Squarespace shopping doesn't work on this either at the moment. But in the future, hopefully they will be added in as well. I think the difference with those platforms is they're very closed off platforms. So they don't really allow a lot of easy work backwards and forwards through what we call an application programming interface or API. Now, once you've selected how you want to manage it, in some cases that will be with Commerce Manager. In some cases, you'll do it over on your website. And now we want to select where we want your customers to complete their purchase. Now, this will be on your website through direct message or checkout on Facebook or Instagram. Now, your website, again, Shopify, BigCommerce, WooCommerce, those are the three big ones, or checking it out on Facebook or Instagram only applies directly in the United States. So the checkout option with Facebook or Instagram is not yet available here in Australia. It does need to check it out through another website just for now. That's coming online more and more. There are some people in Australia do have that checkout access, but that isn't available for everyone just yet. It's still very much in testing. So once the customers see your shop on Facebook or Instagram, they're going to have the option to go to your website to view a bit more information, or they can then check out what they've decided to buy from your shop. So if you choose checkout on Facebook or Instagram and you've got that option, customers will be able to browse your shop and check out directly on Facebook or Instagram with a thing called Facebook Pay. So this is still very much in testing. Not everyone's going to get this, only in the US at the moment where it's commonly available. So those people won't be directed to your website, but just about everyone else will be. They'll be directed to your website, so they actually manage their whole buying experience through your website. So the shop on Instagram and Facebook essentially becomes a portal that sends people through to your website to complete their purchase. So number 5, we're going to choose where you want to set up your online shop front, and we're going to select the business manager account associated with it. This is very, very important. This is where we're saying we want it to be on this particular Facebook page. In this case, it's showing Lucky Shrub, and you're going to then attach it to a specific business manager account. So it's not just a specific page, it's a business manager account. The 6th step is selecting an existing product catalog or creating a new one. So you may already have one set up, or you may want to create a new one. Now, I have to stop us here for just a second and update that this isn't something you can do with services. This has to be physical products in order to work. If you're trying to sell time-based things like consultations or appointments, this is not available on the platform just yet. It is coming to the platform at some point in the coming months, but it is something that's not available just now. So for now, it has to be a physical product, something you can hold, touch, feel, and post. Then we need to select an existing product or catalog, a new one. So we've done that one. So now we go to step 7, which is checking out your shop details and making sure everything's correct there. And then you review what is called the merchant agreement. So you've got to agree to those terms and conditions, and then click on create your shop. So now we've done the creation of the shop. We've done all that. It's gone through a review process. So it does actually go through a review process. So just bear in mind that will happen. It just means that depending upon your products, depending upon your services, depending on what's on your website, all that stuff has to be reviewed by an algorithm and then a person to make sure that something in there is not illegally being sold or not being sold under false pretenses. So there's a lot of checks and balances they need to go through. Most of these happen within 24 hours. In more extreme cases, it can take about a week to have that reviewed if there's a particular product set that needs to be manually reviewed by a couple of people to make sure it is still within the Facebook terms of service. So once you set up your shop, you can now customize your shop's layout and style to best reflect what your business is doing online. So collections is the first bit, where you can feature categories of products that you can select to help your customers to explore through your shop. So to make it easy for customers to navigate your shop, you create these collections to house different collections, if you like, of products. So let's say, for instance, you had a plant shop like Lucky Shrub here. They have the option for you to be able to see all products, but there's a bunch of collections in there too, so they can cluster product types together, like indoor plants, outdoor plants, plants with big leaves, plants with small leaves, and then their new arrivals as well. Now, you probably already are doing this on Shopify or on BigCommerce or WooCommerce and got them into sort of collections or categories. Those will, if you've synced up and you're managing this from, say, Shopify, BigCommerce, or WooCommerce, and if you're sending this across to Facebook shops and the Commerce Manager, this will automatically be set up for you. So those collections will be automatically collated from what you've already set up as collections or categories in your shops at the Shopify, WooCommerce, and BigCommerce end. Now, just a little tip here when it comes to creating collections: add new collections around things like seasonal events, promotions, upcoming launches, or specific trends. So if you're working in an area that's to do with something that is affected by different trends and fashions that come and go, it's a really good opportunity for you to use that as an opportunity to put in a collection that matches that. If it's Mother's Day coming up, if it's Father's Day coming up, if it's Christmas, Easter, New Year, Valentine's Day, you can cluster those different products that suit those times into special collections just for those times. Now you can do that either here, in here, or you can do that from your source material in your website as well. But it's actually nice to be able to do it directly in the Facebook end, because you can then create it and set it out just the way you want to without you having to necessarily go and rearrange things in your website. So to create a collection page for your business, you firstly go to the shop builder and you click homepage. When you click that, you then go manage collections. Then you click add new, click create a new collection. So far it all seems pretty, pretty obvious. Give your collection a name. So just put in a short descriptive name that sort of describes what it is. Don't make that name too long though. Keep it really short, because it will wrap and look a bit messy if you go too long. And it does have a character limit in there. So not long, just make it really short. Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, Easter, something really, really short. Or something, if you have a certain aesthetic you're going through, you might call it the lovers collection. That's still okay. It's just when you're going into over that sort of 25 characters, it starts to get a little bit scary. So once you've done that and you've created your name, you select items from your catalog to add to your collection. And once you've done adding those items, click to confirm. And then you can go and add a header image, which is really fun because it makes it actually look a bit nicer on top of it all. So when you create a header image, you can upload something from elsewhere on your computer, or you can select something that's already in the Facebook family of apps there. Give it that text out, that update. Give it a subtitle that also makes it look nicer. And then you can publish your updates. So it shows you what your page is now going to look like. And then you can publish your collection. So click on publish. It then says, do you want to now publish your shop, or do you want to publish it even if it's got rejected updates? So what it'll do, it'll publish everything if you haven't got rejected updates, or if you can publish it and just leave out the products that may have been rejected at the approval point. And you can then go in with those rejected products and request for each of those to be reviewed. Now, just bear in mind, it's very good to be able to read through the merchant agreement and the Facebook community standards to make sure that there's something in there that you're trying to get approved that isn't either like illegal or against the community standards of Facebook. Now, we do find that when you're selling things like swimwear, underwear, that kind of thing, there's a lot of flesh showing, so that can be misread by algorithms as being nudity. So you may have to have that sort of stuff looked at in a way that's going to get that looked at better. So sometimes the better view of that kind of thing isn't the up close on a person. It can be the up close not on a person, or on a mannequin even. Can be an easy way to get some of those through if you do find that you're having trouble proving it's not nudity, because some bikinis and some underwear and some even for men's clothing can be quite see-through and won't make it through there. So if it's showing a little bit too much of the genital area, you'll have a bit of a problem there. Now, your collection is going to be reviewed to ensure it follows the commerce policies. That's one of the things you should be aware of. If you want to find that online, just go Google Facebook commerce policy, and then it'll show you where that is so you can read through it. I do encourage everyone to give that a read. It's a dry read, I understand that, but it is vital so you're not getting yourself in trouble for getting accounts banned and products banned and you being unable to sell later on. So you'll be notified once the review is complete as well. And if it's approved, your updated shop immediately goes live. Now, this usually takes no more than 24 hours. I have had shops go live in as little as 15 minutes. So there is dedicated resources just for the commerce manager side of things at Facebook for people to review those. Now, the second way you can customize your shop is through editing your shop's home page. Now, you can feature a pretty wide variety of different collections and products depending on what you want your customers to see on that homepage. So just make your own shop homepage your own kind of layout, and then you can customize the shopping experience with what you think your customers are going to want to see first. So to do that, to personalize your shop, you can choose to feature the most relevant product for each customer by selecting dynamic products. Now, this is an algorithmically generated product view where a particular product will be shown as the feature product on your homepage based upon the things that people actually like. And this is part of what Facebook calls their discovery commerce algorithm. Now, this looks at what people like to look at when they're on the web and looking around, also within the Facebook platform, whether it's Facebook apps, WhatsApp, or Instagram. It's able to tell what are the things that people are much more interested in. So if you're selling shoes, socks, stockings, and dresses, and you find that, that it always seems to be that the dynamically selected product is shoes, for instance, on the front of your page, it's probably because your clients, your particular customers, and the people who are most interested in your stuff seem to be interested in shoes more than anything else. So that will be dynamically selected. If you don't want a dynamically selected product, then what you're probably better off doing is to have something which is manually selected. You select your own manual thing. And so here's how you can edit your shop's homepage. You can go to your shop builder and then click on Add New. Then you choose whether you want to feature collections and products with your own branded image, or if you want to show a preview of the top 4 products in a collection in the grid. So you can put a brand image in there, or you can put something which is a grid of 4 different top 4 products that are in a collection that show in a grid layout. So you can select those based over here. And once you've selected what you want to feature, click to edit the image and the text and the title. So it throws up this one. So you can go, okay, there's my collection. Here's my image. And then down the bottom is the text and title. And then once you've done that, click Publish Updates, and that will publish your homepage for you. Now, your updated shop will then also go through that review process to make sure that that individual photo that you want to load up is still compliant with the Facebook commerce policies. But doesn't take long. It really doesn't take long at all. And you'll be notified once the review is complete anyway. So if you're approved, your updated shop and your updated front page is going to go live immediately. But again, this can take anything from 10 minutes to 10 days if you've got dodgy stuff on there that they really need to look at closely. Lastly, you can actually design the look of your shop by customizing the colors and the text and the buttons and the image styles as well. So you've got some choices around how you want this to look to make it sort of better match what your brand is. Now, you're not going to recreate your website over here. You're not going to recreate everything and choose every sort of different option, such as fonts and all that. But there are a few options in here that allow you to do some of this. So to ensure your customers have a fairly seamless shopping experience, make sure that you select your brand colors, because the idea is here to try and match your colors on here with the colors on your website. So then once they land at your website to do the checkout process, it looks like it's legit. It doesn't look dodgy. It looks like it just flows nicely from one thing to the next, and you create that trust factor that's so important when it comes to e-commerce. So make sure you select those brand colors when you're designing shops so you can create that really consistent look and feel. So this is how you do that. You go to the style button up the top and go to your shop builder, click style, select the colors for the buttons and the links. So it might be black and white. It might be as simple as it is for you, or it might be a different color. Then you select the size and the alignment of the text. So you can make the text bigger, you can make it smaller, depending on who your customers are and what you think looks best for them. And then select the shape and the outline of the button, so you can have the outline version, which is not a shaded in button. It's like they're showing there is a white button on a black background, or you can have a solid button as well. And they've given you the options too to have rounded corners, a bullet sort of high radius rounded corners, or just a square button as well. And you can invert those colors there with the toggle just to see what it actually looks like for you. Now you publish your shop and you submit that in to say, okay, this is another update I'm putting there. Every time you do these updates, you will be prompting Facebook to go and review what you've changed. So it's always just to protect the consumer, to make sure that everything's right for them, so that nobody's trying to rip anybody off. Now, naturally, you're not going to do that, but sometimes there are situations where people do try and rip other people off. And you'll be notified once that review is complete, just like with all the other steps we've taken as well. So key takeaways for the Facebook part of this before we go into the Instagram part is that you can use shops to enable your customers to browse, explore, and purchase your products directly from Facebook and Instagram, which is a bit of a relief rather than having to always have ads trying to point people to your website. You can add collections, edit your homepage, and style the appearance of your Facebook shop to create a shopping experience that really reflects your look and feel and your kind of way of doing things. And then finally, shops, oops, I've gone one too far. You can enable your customers to browse, explore, and purchase your products directly from Facebook and Instagram. Now, you can learn more about this at the Facebook Blueprint, which is at facebook.com/blueprint, where you can learn more about what we've gone through today in your own pace. So you can see what exactly is the process in an interactive way and do a couple of little assessments so you can test yourself to see if you really do understand the Blueprint modules. So they do give a lot more detailed instruction about the stuff that we've talked about today. Now, what I'll do, I'm just going to unshare my screen for now and swap over to the Instagram side of this presentation because it is a little bit different on Instagram, and there are a few other things you do need to bear in mind. So yes, I'm still here, just give you a wave. So once we get into the Instagram part, we'll able to show you some of the stuff that's very specific to that platform, and especially with the idea of product tagging, which is something we sort of just touched on a little bit in Facebook shops, but we do go into a lot more detail in this Instagram section. So I'll just share my screen again and we'll get back underway. So as we sell our products with shops on Instagram, we're going to cover today how to learn to set up a shop with Instagram specifically, review the steps of tagging products in your Instagram posts and stories. We're then going to build a customer collection of your offerings through the Instagram platform as well. And then take a look at how you would go about creating ads that send people through to your shop. First of all, just introducing the whole idea of what Instagram shopping is. It's something that helps people turn what we call inspiration into action and to learn more about your products when people come across them. So when you set up a shop on Instagram, you can help out people with browsing and learning more about your specific products, such as the name of the product and the price of the item, all without leaving the app. So they don't need to go off and go get lost in the web just to find out the basics they need to do about the product you're selling. Shops then enables you to create what is a pretty immersive full screen shopping experience on Instagram. So this is made for mobile. It really is made for the mobile experience, and it just looks amazing. Customers can access your shop directly from your profile, so you can have a link from there, or they can come through posts or stories. And if you have an eligible business in the US, which none of you will, you can also set up checkout on Instagram, but at the moment that's only available to very, very few people in a testing state here in Australia. So before we begin, let's go over how to prepare for setting up a shop. First, we need to verify that your Instagram professional account complies with Instagram's specific terms of use and community guidelines. Now, you may have already done this with your Facebook setup and gone and set up everything in that side, which will set up an Instagram shop as well. Shopify, WooCommerce, and BigCommerce also have very good plugins that will automatically do a lot of this stuff for you. So they'll go through the process, prompt you to do that on the Instagram and Facebook, and then make it go through. If you're someone who doesn't particularly want to shop on Facebook, you just want it on Instagram, these next set of instructions are going to be really mainly for you. So once you've agreed to the terms of use and the community guidelines, we move on to make sure your Instagram professional account contains product listings that are available for direct purchase from your website. So you've got to make sure that it's going to be in your business's domain name, right? So you can go off to myshop.com.au and see and buy what your stuff is. Next, your Facebook page or Instagram professional account, so that's one of the business accounts, it has to be located in a support market to use what we call the Facebook commerce tools. Now that's Australia. We are a supported market, so that's no problem at all. But the checkout on Facebook and Instagram, as I said before, is only in the US at the moment in limited testing in Australia. Then you have to what we call demonstrate your trustworthiness. This is where your Facebook account, a page, or Instagram professional account has to have demonstrated trustworthiness through an authentic, established presence. So you've had to have been going for a while. You can't just open up that day and then be starting selling. You have to have something going on for a while. And it may also include that you maintain a sufficient follower base. Now, there's no actual dead set number to this. There may be some guidelines around that. So to make sure you've got, not 3 followers, but if you've got hundreds of followers, that would be go a long way to helping you out. The idea is that it's like a bit of a it's like a checklist. So for instance, we'll go through and I'll see, okay, has this been running for a while now? Has this been running and interacting with followers? Has it have a growing follower base over the past couple of years? What they're trying to avoid is people who are coming on to scam by setting up a new account, immediately getting on selling and ripping people off. So the idea is you should on Instagram have something established already where you're linking off to highlight your products and interact with your followers, and you've got something going on there, so that then they can go, yeah, you know what, this is an established presence on here. What they're doing is stuff that they already are doing to promote their shop, so therefore we can do it. So if you want to set up a new Instagram account and get shopping set up for it, you can't just go, okay, I'm opening up an Instagram presence today, loading up 5 different posts, and I'm going to be selling by tonight. That's not the way it works. You need to have that demonstrated trustworthiness on the platform. And finally, you have to make sure you have accurate product information, and your refund and return policies have to be clearly displayed and easily accessible from your website, so that then they can be linked through to Facebook and Instagram as well. So you need to have those things like a return policy for people who've got the wrong sizes, exchanges, refunds, all that sort of stuff. You've got to make sure you've got all that stuff pre-set up in your shop before you try to engage anything between Instagram, Facebook, and your online sales with your web e-commerce website. So now, have a quick sip of water there. Let's talk about how you can set up shops on Instagram and start that selling process, and how to feature the particular products you want to sell in your posts and in your stories as well. So I'm going to get you to meet Mangata and Gallo. Mangata and Gallo is a high-end jewelry store that sells diamond engagement rings. That's what they really do focus in on. And Mariana, who's shown in the picture here, she's the store's owner and wants to attract new customers and set up a shop on Instagram. So to see how Instagram shopping works, let's look at how Mariana would set up an Instagram shop for Mangata and Gallo. So here's how she does it. Step 1, you use Commerce Manager or a supported platform to set up the shop. We did that in the last bit when we we're looking at Facebook. So remember, it's using Commerce Manager here within Facebook, or you do it through your Shopify BigCommerce or WooCommerce plugins. Second step, choose a checkout method. So for us, it's going to be checking out on another website or checking out with messaging. You can't do it at the moment with checkout directly on Facebook or Insta. Choose your sales channels. So it's going to be through certain Facebook pages or certain Instagram accounts. Add products to your shop. So we're going to create that new catalog, and you select the product catalog you want to use in your shop. You may already have that set up. It may have inherited it from Shopify or BigCommerce or WooCommerce. Either which way, you need to then go and put that through, so then we'll review that shop. So we go finish the setup, and then it gets reviewed. Now, these tips are really useful for you to help you to make your product stand out on Instagram. So use clear and consistent imagery. So this is where you go and see shops and you see, here's the photo of the ring. So it's consistently showing just the photos of the rings, or it will consistently show the photos of the rings on a finger. So don't just vary like randomly between one and the other. Try and keep it really consistent, because it actually makes you look really, really legitimate. Just ensure that you're doing, that you're cropping and the resizing of images is very consistent across each image, and make sure that they are always in that square format, so they fit really perfectly on every platform. And square, as you know, is the best way to do for mobile, because it's just going to work on every platform. It's going to look good on desktops for those who view it that way, but it's definitely going to look really good in a grid setup like you're seeing on screen right now. And you might want to maintain a consistent look and feel too, just to make it look like you are real and you're legitimate and you are actually thinking about something. So using the same visual treatment across all your product images, things like adding a logo or a colored background or some little simple props. Quite often I've got clients who actually use the little tiles of AstroTurf that they buy from Kmart. You buy them for about $15 for a pack of about 6 of them, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. No, 8 actually. A pack of 4. They buy a couple of those, $15, set them up on a desk, and you put your products sitting on those little AstroTurf squares, and you've immediately got a bit of a backdrop that creates that consistency of your product images from one product to the other. So when you do look at these kind of layouts of grids, it looks good and it looks consistent and it looks legit. You don't look like you're trying to rip anybody off. Then provide a bit of a context. Now, providing context means having multiple images. So you know this from setting up your e-commerce account, your Shopify store, your WooCommerce store, wherever you're using for your shop, that having more than one photo makes it so much easier for people to be able to imagine this in their lives. So showing just that one front-on photo like we're seeing there from Mangata and Gallo will be great. But once they go to the Mangata and Gallo page, website, they'll see that is they're showing the front, they're showing it from the top, they're showing it actually on a finger, so you can get some kind of context. And context is really important because it helps people judge what the sizing is. It helps them to judge whether this is something that fits in their life. It's like, for instance, going to a display home, right? You want to buy a house, but if it was just an empty shell, it doesn't give you a context of how you might be able to live in that display home. So they always furnish them and decorate them so that you can get that context of what it's going to be like in your life. That's the same with even low cost, items like handmade jewelry or handmade clothing that's going to be sold for a lot less than, say, a house would be. And then use multiple formats as well. So add videos to your catalog if it's helpful for customers to see what your product is like in motion. So things like really flowy dresses, for instance, can look fantastic in a video that shows it being twirled or seeing what it's like as you're walking. Because we don't just stand still when we're wearing clothes. We want to see what those clothes look like when we're in motion as well. Same thing can be for anything that is actually a moving product, to have a video showing that thing in action and moving. So you can have what we call lifestyle imagery, which gives you multiple shots from multiple angles within the use of that product. So for instance, if you had a kitchen appliance, you would then have that being used in the kitchen, a photo of it in the kitchen, near other kitchen appliances, so that you can show what that size, that product looks like, say, next to the average microwave oven or coffee machine. And things like tutorials can go in here really well as well. So if you're selling things like makeup, having a tutorial about how to use that particular product, just short, doesn't have to be long, could be a minute. Just having something like that adds that little bit extra. Now, it won't be the featured image that shows, because we want this to be nice and consistent. What it will do is, though, create a lot more ways for people to be able to see what it is you're trying to put across, and give them that added context that's so important, that allows them to see, oh, this is how I could do this in my particular circumstances in my life. So once the Mangata and Gallo team decides to do all that, they now follow these steps. So Mariana, she has a new shopping commerce manager. Now she wants to start using Instagram shopping. She needs to submit her account for a review and then turn on the shopping features. So account reviews, look, they can take anything from 15 minutes to 2 weeks. It just depends on, what the kind of stuff is you're trying to sell. Once the account is approved, she can then turn on the shopping features by going into Instagram business profile settings and selecting a product catalog to connect to her account. So next, we're going to talk about how you can feature your products in photos and videos on Instagram using what we call product tags. And this is how you're able to take that from just being something which you can advertise in a post to actually embedding the products into the photos and the videos you're showing on Instagram. It's awesome. So you can tap on a dress and then see how much it's going to cost. It's awesome. So product tags, they let you to enable you to highlight products from, say, a catalog, and they help you to learn more about what they're selling. So when people want to tap a product tag or a post in a story, they don't just see information about that, but they'll be redirected to a product detail page within Instagram. So it'll come up as a product detail page. So you can see there the tag, but then once they tap on that tag right there, then it goes off to then a product detail page that's within the platform. So it all looks neat and tidy and legit, and it doesn't look dodgy. And this is what you really want to get across when you're doing all this stuff online for e-commerce. You want to keep it looking really consistent and really smooth and as official looking as possible. So let's go over how to tag a product in a post first. To enable product tagging, you need to tag. So I've got too many tap and tag words. For tagging products, to enable product tagging, tap the tag products link. And then step 2, with the tag products highlighted, then you'll tap on the photo you'd like to add the product tags to. And when tagging, be sure to select the product catalog where the desired product is. All these are going to be prompted for you along the way when you go to do this yourself. And then review what you want to do before it's published. So you go, yep, 3-stone diamond ring, $2,500. That's what I'm definitely looking for. And then you can also tag your products in stories and in live video as well. So you can add a product tag stickers to your story. And because stories are only around for that 24-hour mark, you can share an exclusive promo for your product to then encourage your audience to make a purchase in that time frame. So this is where you go on the feed, things stick around a bit longer, but in a story with that 24 hours, this is where you get a little bit more clever. You say, I've got this particular thing for this solitaire engagement ring for you to order one now. You'll get it for this price and it's going to disappear in the next 24 hours. And then that offer is going to go away. So you can get clever with the platforms as they stand. So you might have more of your branding of particular rings or particular dresses or particular fragrances or particular products in your posts in the feed. But when it comes to your stories, you can use that as a way to tag in the things that you want to say have a clearance sale on for 24 hours, or whether you want to run you're a week away from the end of month and you want to make sure you get your quota of sales in. So you'll do special offers that you'll put in for 24 hours only. So for live broadcasts, you can select products that you want to feature for your audience by showing people how to use your products by doing something like a tutorial. Tutorials are a really good way to, like a how-to, a demonstration, and you prompt them to then purchase in real time. So as you're doing that demo, as you're doing that that makeup tutorial, or as you're doing whatever it is you're doing to demonstrate your product, then you've got the tag in there that people can just click on, and it tags it down the bottom. So you'll see it down the bottom where it says modern ring $15.99. So it tags it down the bottom so that you can just tap on it and add it to your cart, and they'll go off and then start buying that product at the end as well. So it's a really good way to show people how to use your products, but also how to then use those products in their lives by buying those products as well. Now, a few tips here for featuring your products in photos and videos. You can create posts about your products pretty regularly. That's a good idea because it lets your followers get familiar with them. So here's some tips to try in the photos and videos to highlight those products you've got. Number one, reveal the process behind creating your product. So you can take your community on a bit of a backstage tour, if you like, behind the scenes, and see the work that goes into making your particular products. For example, Mariana here shares a photo that reveals how she designed Mangata and Gallo's new ring. So she'll show you how she actually went about that and some of the process of making it, so that someone looking can get a better insight in what it is. Now, this doesn't have to, you might not be actually making your products. You might be buying them and reselling them. That's fine too. All you got to do is show unboxing. Things like that can be really helpful in a story or in a live video or in a photo. So just get really creative about how you want to communicate to the world how your particular product works and what some of the behind the scenes stuff is. You can also share photos and videos that your customers have previously posted about your stuff. So in this case, it's a photo that they wanted to post of a proposal, and it happened to be with the classic diamond ring. Now, the customers tagged Mangata and Gallo in this. Mangata and Gallo, so Mariana knew that she sold this particular ring to this particular guy, and that so she knows that when he tagged in Mangata and Gallo, she's able to then tag the product that was in there as well. So this is really cool when those I said yes and she said yes and he said yes posts that often come up when people are going around engagements. That's really cool. You can tag that in, and now notice that it's not necessarily showing right up front where that ring is. It's just saying that in this case, the ring used was a classic diamond ring from Mangata and Gallo. So it's a really cool way to really highlight what your products are by taking the things that people have already posted about you, and then you post your product in there as well. So when you repost it on your Instagram account, it then has your tag about your product in it. And you can also tag more than one product in a post. This is really a very good way of doing it. So in the case here, they've got, a couple of rings on there, but you may have something else that you're showing. So for instance, what they're doing, the sapphire ring set of 5, that's going through to a collection. The sapphire blue ring is going through to an individual thing. So you can tap on any of those to see what those products are. Now, bearing in mind, this is not what your photo is going to look like when the first go into it. What it'll show is just a photo, and then the view products tag down the bottom will be there. Once you tap on view products, then the product tags appear. So it doesn't come up with making your photos look really ugly by putting these tags all over them. The only tag that will go in there when you first come to that picture on the feed will be view products. So once they tap on that, then they see what those products are. So it's not going to mess with your aesthetic and make your photos look really ugly or anything like that. And then make your photos and videos actionable. So what you're doing is enabling it so there's certain parts of your video that point to a product. Make it so that you can click on those to go through to something. By making that, you're educating people on how to shop your products pretty much. So you're saying, okay, this is the wonderful things we do. Now click on them so you can buy them, because you can get this look as well. And that lookbook approach is a really, really effective way of showing people how to take what your products are and put it in the context of their lives as well. So now that Mariana set up a shop and she started tagging her products, she can now sell her jewelry on Instagram. But Mariana wants her shop to reflect the Mangata and Gallo brand and be easy for customers to navigate through. So she wants to customize a shop to make it her own. Now, we did see this in the Facebook a bit before. This is the I guess the specific outcomes that you'll see when you do this for Instagram. So we saw what it would look like on Facebook. This is what it looks like on Instagram. So when you set up a shop on Instagram, you create collections. So we know that to group around those different products around the themes or the seasons or cultural moments or whatever it is you're doing. And it helps people to find what they're looking for by putting it into very logical collections that people would be searching through. So for example, Mariana can create a collection of engagement rings to showcase Mangata and Gallo's most popular style. So you can look at the classic diamond rings as the styles that they usually look at, or the modern engagement rings for the girl who wants something just a little bit different. So let's go through those steps again, but this time through the Instagram lens. So step one, create a custom collection of products for your Instagram shop through the Commerce Manager. So if you don't know where to find that, just go to Google and type in Facebook Commerce Manager or Instagram Commerce Manager, and it will take you in there. So once you log into Commerce Manager, navigate to Collections on the menu and click Create Collection. Show it there. Now, in step two, you're going to set your details about your collection. So you fill in those required fields, such as the name of the collection, a description of the collection, and give yourself a hero image for that collection. So you might want to select one of the photos from your particular collection now, or upload a new one. The third step, you're going to add your products to the collection. So you're going to use the search bar to search through your product catalog for items to add. Now, this is if you've got a big catalog. If you don't have a big catalog, you've only got a few products, that's okay. Just scroll down the list and you'll see them on that list on the left. Now, bear in mind, this is all happening on desktop, not mobile. So all this stuff does need to be set up on desktop, because the mobile, even though that's where the outcome of the shop is most likely going to be for customers, is not a good place to be able to go through this product. You need a bigger screen to be able to see everything you need to see. Now, the fourth step is you want to review and submit your collection. So once you've got all that together, you want to click confirm to say that, yep, I'm ready for this collection to be reviewed and all the writing that I've put in to be reviewed. So it's not ripping anyone off and it's really conforming to the Facebook and Instagram commerce policies. Now, the customizing of your shop's appearance is much the same as we're looking with Facebook before. So you want to use the Style tab to update the text and buttons on your collections. And you can also arrange your collections to change their look and feel. You can use the Layout tab to add collections to your shop, and you can arrange the order in which they do appear as well. So you can put certain collections up front and then other collections further down the list. So a few tips here, if you're setting up your collections, just follow a few of these quick tips, because they are quite valuable and will help you to make this an easier process. So select a high quality image that can attract people's attention. We call it a hero image, and it helps you to use the full frame on a mobile device. You want to make it to be nice and wide and look really, really high end and high definition. You want to create something, so for instance, like lifestyle shots. So not necessarily here's a photo of the ring, but here's a photo of the ring in use on a woman's finger. So you want to do that simply because it allows you to go, you know what? This is what it's going to look on someone else. This is what it might look like on me as well. Now I want you to choose a title that prompts shoppers to tap and learn more about a specific group of products. So make it nice and make it enticing, but not too long. See, they've just done really nice, short, sharp descriptions. classic diamond rings, modern engagement rings. Yours could be the Christmas collection, the Easter collection. Yours could be even organic makeup collection or vegan makeup collection, whatever is going to get the attention of your particular target audience. So if your target audience is vegan, then highlight that. If your target audience is women, then do something which you know that other women, including yourself, may be able to take attention to and go, yep, that's going to get my attention every time. And then choose, I guess, multiple products. So add multiple products into those collections, and then you can add up to 30 in each individual collection. So consider what the best ways are for you to group those items together. Use the same visual treatments again to make sure that everything looks nice and consistent. If you're using the same props, the same backgrounds, or in this case, what's shown on the screen, no background at all, that's great. White backgrounds are really good for this kind of thing. So just use the same kind of effect so it looks nice and consistent and legitimate. So now we're going to go over how to create Instagram shopping ads with product tags that send people to your shop directly from the ad. So they don't have to then go into a catalog and then all that. You want them to then go straight to buy that particular product from the ads that they'll see on there. So after you set up your shop on Instagram, you can create Instagram shopping ads with the ads manager. So people who are not already following your business, they can then also see these things. So you can tag your posts and they go out on your organically on your Facebook and Instagram feeds. But what you want to do is reach way beyond just the people who follow you and reach people who are going to be more likely to be able to buy the products you're putting out there. So you want to be able to send them through to your business account and your product detail page. They can see what's going on as well as the people who follow you. Instagram shopping ads, they help people to tap a product tag for more information about that item, as we've seen, and then how they can go forward and purchase that. So what is Ads Manager? Well, we'll look what Ads Manager does. It enables you to view, change, and see the results from all of your ad campaigns in one place. It's where you can do a lot more granular stuff, like enabling you to manage and control and customize multiple ads at once. So you might not want to have just one ad for one product. You may want to have 30 different products out there that are all being sort of dynamically chosen as ads. You can use Ads Manager to evaluate your performance. So you can view all the up-to-date data that's coming through in the last 24 hours about how your ads are performing, whether they're actually converting to sales or not. Kill off the ones that aren't and prop up the ones that are working really well. And after updating your budget and payment methods, which you can also do from here, you can then use Ads Manager to start running ads that send people essentially straight to your Instagram shop. So here's how you create this in Instagram shopping ads. First, you got to select an objective in the ads manager that aligns with your business goals. So consider your advertising goal when you say select your marketing objective. What is the thing I want to do? For shopping ads, you can select from one of the available objectives, such as brand awareness. So you want people to be aware that you're selling this stuff. You can select one of the available objectives from brand awareness, reach, traffic, engagement, conversions. Each one of those has a little description that tells you basically what it's about. So you can match that to what you're actually trying to achieve. If you're just trying to sell things, then conversions might be good for you. But just remember, there's no reason for someone to trust your shop straight off the bat. So something like brand awareness or reach, or getting people to go through to your shop through a traffic ad might be more effective at the first time, because you can always use the Facebook pixel later on to retarget people who either visited your shop on Instagram or Facebook or visited your shop at your website as well. Although some of the recent stuff from Apple's kind of making that a little harder to do these days. Secondly, then you're going to set your budget, your schedule, and placement for the ads. So the budget is going to be how much you're going to spend over a lifetime, or how much I want to spend per day. If you do a lifetime, you can set, for a month, is a lifetime, and spend, say, $500 a month. Or you can go, I want to spend $5 a day, which is going to roughly equate to about $150. $5 a day, about $150 a month. So when you set that budget, now we're going to set the schedule of how long you want your ads to go and where you want to place it. So if you want to place it in something like your on Instagram, on Facebook, on both, on stories, on feeds, in Messenger, it'll give you the opportunity to select all that as well. So for example, Mariana sets a budget as $100 for one particular ad to run over a week on Instagram. Then you can determine an audience that is likely to engage with your business. This is where you do the targeting. So it can help you pretty much maximize your budget, ensures your ads are reaching the people you want it to reach, not just any old Joe Blow. For example, Mariana, for instance, wants to reach more women who may be interested in Mangata and Gallo's engagement rings. So she creates an audience of women aged between 22 and 40 who have an interest in bridal magazines. So that could be a really good way of matching up your target audiences, picking up like the things that they're interested in. Now, the interest doesn't have to just be plain straight and simple, the interest being what your product is, because the chances are they're not actually at that point where they're interested in what your product is. They're interested in things in their life that may run parallel to what your product happens to do or what role it plays in their life. Then you can select the shopping post you want to turn into an ad. So you've already got a shopping post on there, you turn in an ad, select the shoppable post you want to use, then click continue. So for example, Mariana selects a post that features one of the most popular engagement rings because she figures if it's already popular organically, it's definitely going to be popular once she spreads that out to people far and wide beyond her current following. And then in the fifth one, we're going to set the metrics to customize shopping ads. So when we talk about that, we're going to track things like people who have viewed that particular product, people who've added it to cart, purchases like that are completed, and checkouts that have been initiated. The metrics that will be split between those that occur using checkout on Instagram and those that occur on your website. So it'll measure what's on your website happening and then what's actually happening within Instagram. Now, Instagram direct checkout again is only available in America for now, but it's starting to become more available in Australia bit by little bit this year. So now we've done all that, we can have a look at what those key takeaways are of the Instagram side of it, at least. So you first set up your Instagram shopping to help people to browse and learn more about your products. That's really obvious. That's what we want to be able to do. The next bit is a fun bit where you're actually adding the product tags in your content and helping your customers learn more about them. Then you can group those products in collections that help people find they're looking for much quicker. So if they're looking for men's jewelry, they find men's jewelry in that collection. If they're looking for engagement gifts, they find engagement gifts in that collection nice and quickly. And then finally, you want to create Instagram shopping ads in Ads Manager to reach more people than just the people who you're following. Now, admittedly, you don't have to spend a fortune on ads to do this. You can do this from $1 per day per product. You can keep it as cheap as you like, and then just target it really tightly to the people you want to. The idea is here to get the most that you possibly get out of it by providing a really seamless opportunity for people to see a product they like, and then to go forth and buy that product in the easiest, most seamless, frictionless way they possibly can. So I hope you've learned a bit out of that. You can learn more about all this through the Facebook blueprint, whether it's Facebook or Instagram as well. If you've got any questions about all this sort of stuff, I'm certainly willing to take those over my email address, which is dante@treaty.com.au. So DANTE at TEETI.com.au. But the best place to put those questions is in what we call the Boost with Facebook Australia group. So you just go along to Facebook, look for Boost with Facebook Australia. And that is a group that's full of other people just like you are trying to set up their shops on Instagram and Facebook or running businesses in Australia. And it's then got people from the Facebook Australia's office, some people in Singapore too, who can help out. I'm in there. I know a lot of the other trainers that I work with. There's 5 of us in Australia and 2 in New Zealand who can help you to connect all that through. And also the main thing, I guess, is so you can actually see there's not just you who sometimes struggles with this stuff. There's other people who do too. And we're all in there to help you and support you in the best way possible. So I really do hope you've got something out of this today. Thank you so much for joining me and spending some time to learn more about the Facebook way of doing shops, whether that's through Facebook itself or through Instagram. You can do it either way or both. I'd say just do both anyway, because let's face it, customers are everywhere these days. They're not just on one platform or another. So again, Boost with Facebook Australia is a place where I want you to go to be able to get the most support you can possibly get from people from Facebook and the trainers like myself, so that we can help you to get more out of your business by using the Facebook family of apps. Thank you and have a great weekend.